What is up, guys, and welcome back to part 37 of my F1 2016 career mode here at the Malaysian Grand Prix. If you missed season 1 and of course the first 15 rounds of this second season, then you can go click the little card annotation in the top right hand corner of your screens to go catch up with everything over this career mode so far. But we are currently here at the Malaysian Grand Prix, still leading the championship by 75 points as well, which is an absolutely massive margin over Kimi Räikkönen. We're really starting to close in on actually winning this championship very early on in the season. Another very decent result here today, and we can definitely be certainly closing in on that championship towards maybe Japan or the American Grand Prix. So we're just going to wait and see whether that happens. We do have a couple of R&D upgrades to talk about, so we're going to head over to Chris and see what he has to say about those.
Hey, good to see you again. The factory sent over the parts that were looking good on the rig. They're being fitted as we speak. Have a look at the report.
So last time out of the Singapore Grand Prix, we decided to cease our research and development, but that was not before actually doing one last upgrade for the season, upgrading the fuel efficiency on our car. And yeah, that's really going to help us in terms of running in rich mix a lot longer, and fuel saving isn't really going to be as important anymore in the season, because obviously we've upgraded the fuel efficiency. So yeah, that's not too bad. We do have 359 resource points remaining, but unfortunately, you know, we've ceased research and development because I don't really feel like we were going to upgrade our car too much. I did want to max out by the end of the season, but looking at how many points I tend to get in a race weekend and how many races we had left in the season, it just wasn't going to happen. But we are still the best team in Formula 1. No other teams have upgraded their cars. I don't think any other teams are going to upgrade their car. I think they sort of cease their research and development as well. Maybe Haas towards the American Grand Prix, they do tend to upgrade their car there. But we're going to see how this affects the car as we head over to practice.
The time has come to start the first session of the race weekend. It's practice for the Malaysia Grand Prix.
Here we are then doing the track acclimatization in the first practice session of the Malaysian Grand Prix, and so far we are on for a green score. Will it be enough to get purple? I don't think it is, and it's not. And unfortunately, we could not even get purple in the track acclimatization at all throughout the whole entire of the practice sessions. We couldn't also do the tyre wear management. We struggled on that one, and we also struggled on the qualifying pace as well. So that does not set us up well for the rest of the race weekend, that we pretty much failed all of the practice objectives apart from the track acclimatization that we did manage to get a green score, but that's not good enough. We want to get a purple score in that one, so I'm really disappointed with that, and it doesn't set us up well for the rest of the race weekend. But we are going to bounce back. Hopefully we can do a good job in practice, but if not, we are definitely good in the race at this circuit, so we're just going to have to wait and see, and just see what we do in the race. But without any further ado, let's head over to qualifying.
Sit back and put your feet up as we head into qualifying here in Kuala Lumpur. Over the next few minutes, we'll find out who's got pace in the car and who hasn't.
Here we are then in today's qualifying session, and this one is going to be a lot more difficult compared to the previous qualifying sessions that we have had. We couldn't do the qualifying pace in the practice, we couldn't do the tyre wear management, nor could we do the track acclimatization as well. So this one's going to be really difficult. So really what we're just going to have to do is head out on track, see what we can do, and just see how this qualifying session pans out. Q1 we should be able to get through because we definitely have a car that will get into Q2, but Q2 into Q3 is going to be difficult. I'm not too sure how that one is going to go. We're just going to have to wait and see as the session goes on. But right now, let's head out on track and see what we can do. Right then, out on track for our first lap in this qualifying session, and it's now started to be sort of intermediate tyres instead of full wets, and this should really help us in Q1. There we go, out on track in 11th place at the moment, ahead of a lot of guys who are on the wets, but still slower than Nico Rosberg, who was on the full wets as well. So that just shows my pace around this Malaysian Grand Prix. Round the final corner once again, down towards the line, but this time 1 second faster, down towards the line. Was time good enough for 5th place, easily good enough to get into Q2, and there we go, in the end moving down into 8th position, which isn't the best, but it still is enough to get into Q2, and hopefully we can carry on that momentum and get into Q3 as well. But Jolyon Palmer also getting through, which is a decent result for both Renault drivers. But here we are, round the final corner once again, first lap here in Q2, down towards the line, this time going on the medium tyres because we want to try and get the strategy on the other guys. Same sort of thing happened where it starts off in wet conditions, guys on intermediate tyres, and then dried out towards the end of the session. So we're going to go out for the medium tyres and really see how they will compare to the other guys. We should stay on the top 5 because I think a lot of guys aren't setting lap times on those inters. Down towards the line, it's good enough for 5th position still. Still the worst person on the dry tyres, in fact, but it's a 136.9, which hopefully will be enough. We're going to head back to the pits and see what it's good enough for. No, it's only good enough for 12th position on the grid. That is us knocked out of the qualifying sessions, not making it into Q3. Jolyon Palmer, fastest guy on track there in qualifying, so hopefully he can carry that on into Q3. But really, really disappointing in this qualifying session to get knocked out down in 12th position as well. And yeah, did not expect that. All those other guys that were on the intermediate tyres must have been out on track and setting quicker lap times. I mean, we were the worst guy on the dry tyres, so that does not set us up well for the race, being the worst guy on the dry. So the only thing that we can really expect to is go backwards at the moment. Hopefully we do move forwards, and hopefully we do get some points here and there, maybe some strategy or something like that, but it's not looking good for the race. But we're not going to give up, we're not going to give in, and we're just going to keep on pushing and see what we can do in this race. Without any further ado, let's head over to that race for the Malaysian Grand Prix.
A young Spaniard named Fernando Alonso sat at the front of the grid here over a decade ago now. The first flash of greatness in a race that also gave us the maiden win for Kimi Raikkonen. The Malaysian Grand Prix is an event for gifted racers to climb to the top, and for those on the sidelines to find new talents. 5 lefts and 10 rights make up the 15 corners of Sepang's 3.4-mile circuit. A track where the weather always threatens to play a deciding factor. The drivers will be subjected to forces in excess of 4G and heavy braking zones in 4 of these corners, 2 of which come at the end of DRS zones into turn 1 and to turn 15. A tough race in store then for our drivers today, so tell me, Anthony Davidson, what will you be looking out for as the cars make their way down into turn 1?
Well, first of all, let's hope that everyone's well behaved and we can have a nice incident-free start. That initial release is going to be the most interesting thing, and the clean side of the grid will be better rubbered in, so keep an eye out for cars over there potentially making their way through.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
It's race day here at the Malaysian Grand Prix, and it's going to be a really, really exciting race. I'm not too sure what I'm going to do in this race, whether we're going to go forwards or whether we're going to go backwards from 12th position on the grid. So either way, it's probably going to be exciting, or it's going to be really, really boring just to be overtaken constantly by all the other drivers and just head right to the back of the field. So we're just going to wait and see what happens in this race. But starting in P12, it's not too bad. We're in the midfield, and hopefully we can get some positions down in towards turn 1. Looking at the race strategy for today's race, starting on the hard tyres, pitting for another set of hard, and then going on to the softs. I'm not too sure about that strategy, but with the rain coming down at the end of the race, I think that's probably going to be a good strategy to go for the time being. But here we are on the formation lap. The only guy on the hard tyres around with all the other drivers around us. Valtteri Bottas ahead of us on the softs. Roman Grosjean behind us on the softs. We're getting underway for the formation lap now. So we're going to warm up these hard tyres. We need to make sure these hard tyres are really, really up to temperature by the start of the race, because the hard tyres take a long time to get up to temperature, and we do not want to be lacking behind at the start of the race. Otherwise, that is going to be a real big shame for us. But here we are on the starting grid. The lights coming on now for the Malaysian Grand Prix. Is 5 red lights. Lights out and away we go for the Malaysian Grand Prix. Held there for a very, very long time once again with all 5 lights on. But going down in towards turn 1, it's an okay start. We've got a few guys a little bit faster than us with Nico Rosberg and I think Roman Grosjean much better down towards turn 1. Roman Grosjean diving up the inside, just trying to find a gap between Kvyat and Roman Grosjean. Nothing really to find there. But Kvyat having a little bit of a side swipe from Fernando Alonso there, who gets through into P10. We get through behind Danny Kvyat side by side. No, we've got the job done. Up into P11 now, following behind Fernando Alonso. Can we get into P10? Yes, we can. Up the inside, and maybe have a little look on Roman Grosjean as well, but not quite close enough to go for a move there. But up into P9 at the moment. It's a good start to this Malaysian Grand Prix as we try and hunt down the Haas driver of Roman Grosjean. Can we get up even further in the points? I mean, to get 9th position at the moment is still a fantastic result. We've run very, very wide there on the exit of that corner. That's lost us 2 positions. Running wide once again, losing us even more positions in this race. That was a disastrous couple of corners here in the Malaysian Grand Prix, and all the way down in 15th position on the grid. That is not what we wanted in this race, and now we've got to try and get back into it, try and get back to Carlos Sainz and Fernando Alonso and all those guys up ahead of us. Here we are right behind Nico Rosberg, who's dropped down into 14th place at the moment. Looks like Carlos Sainz has jumped above Fernando Alonso and Nico Rosberg. But going down in towards turn 1 right now, following behind the Mercedes driver. He's going side by side with Fernando Alonso. We're going to have a look up the inside as well. It's 3 wide down in towards turn 1. Who's going to come out on top of this battle? Still side by side with the Mercedes and the McLaren driver. Into turn 2. Looks like we've just got ahead of both of them. There we go. Up into P13, and a great double overtake down in towards turn 1, and both of those guys are now trying to hunt down Carlos Sainz, Williams, I think, of Valtteri Bottas, and Danny Kvyat as well, as we run it very, very wide into the penultimate corner. That corner is so horrible. One of the worst corners in the F1 calendar, kind of like the one in Bahrain. Just, you're braking around the corner. It's just a massive struggle, and we've lost out to both Felipe Massa and Fernando Alonso in this race, but Massa gets past Alonso. We're going to have a little look to try and get past in towards the new straight. Fernando Alonso comes into the pits, so we're not going to worry about him too much, but Felipe Massa on the back of the Williams driver right now. Can we do anything down in towards turn 1? Did Nico Rosberg come into pits as well? Because Rio Haryanto is up into 15th place, and Nico Rosberg must either have a problem or Rio Haryanto has had a really, really good lap. Here we are right on the back of Felipe Massa at the moment, having a little look in towards turn 2, right on the back of the Williams driver, going down through turn 3 into turn 4. Can we get anything done on Felipe Massa into this next corner? Having a little look up the inside. No, we're just not close enough. Purple through sector 1 at the moment, though. 5 tenths faster than our previous best. Very, very good lap at the moment from myself. Right behind him through this left, then the right. Can we get a move done on the Williams driver of Felipe Massa? Getting the power down very, very early. Maybe get a good run. And no, we lose the back end, putting it onto the grass. We are just not good on these hard tyres at the moment. Lose the back end once again, going over to the wall. Can we keep it out of the barrier? No, we can't. And we've actually broken the front wing off of this Renault. Disaster has striked us here at the Malaysian Grand Prix, but that is really, really going to hurt our race. We are right at the back of the field. I do not know what is going to happen from here. Sebastian Vettel, though. Oh, no, he's had an engine failure. Sebastian Vettel has had an engine failure pretty much the same time that I've gone into barrier. He's going to pull over to one side. This could be good news for us if a safety car comes out, which it does. A safety car has come out. Oh, my God. There is definitely a God in this world, because he has given me a safety car in this race. That is absolutely amazing. Exactly what I needed to get back in this race. We're not going to give up. We are not going to give in. We are right at the back of the field, but we're going to catch up in that safety car. We are going to push through the field and get back into the points and see what else can happen in this race. Here we are coming in for a pit stop. We have to get a new front wing, so that's going to put us even further at the back of the field, but thanks to that safety car, that's going to put us back in to the frame, be right behind Fernando Alonso, and then just really see what we can do in the rest of the race. We've got to get through quite a lot of drivers. Maybe we can play a bit of strategy with the other guys who are on the medium tyres at the moment, play a bit of strategy and see what we can do in the rest of this race. Maybe we are coming out the pits at the moment. No one really else on track to drive around. I mean, there's no one around us at all, so we just need to push in, get some really, really quick laps going under the safety car, and try and catch up to the back of the pack before the safety car comes in, so we have a good chance of getting past all the other guys. And here we are on lap 7 at the moment. Safety car is coming in this lap. We're right behind Fernando Alonso, right behind the whole pack. We're going to move it up to the, maybe around the outside into the final corner. Are we going to do that? No, we're going to switch over to the inside this time. Then the green flag goes just as we slam on the brakes, because we were going to get an early overtake on Fernando Alonso, but nevertheless we go up the inside of the McLaren driver, and it's an easy move, is it? He's still side by side, still holding it around the outside down the start finish straight, but it looks like we have got the job done with the faster straight line speed of this Renault. Moving over to the right hand side of Felipe Massa, and there we go, up the inside of him, side by side with Felipe Massa in towards turn 1. Can we get 3 positions in the space of a couple of corners? Not quite yet. Felipe Massa just holding it around the outside and then getting the inside line in towards turn 2. We have a good line through turn 3, right behind the Williams driver down towards turn 4. Can we get the job done up the inside into this corner? Yes, we can. And on Marcus Ericsson as well, possibly. Yeah, there we go. Up the inside of both those guys in one corner. Great move on Marcus Ericsson and Felipe Massa. And there we are up into P17 at the moment. A couple of guys coming into the pits. So probably one of the worst times that you could possibly come into the pits, but nevertheless, we're going to move up into P15 at the moment, right behind Pascal Wehrlein, Carlos Sainz and Danny Kvyat, having a look up the inside in towards turn 1, and what a fantastic dive bomb move that was up the inside in towards turn 1, side by side with Carlos Sainz at the moment into turn 2. Can we get the job done around the outside of turn 3, side by side still with the Toro Rosso driver? He has not giving up on position. But there we go, around the outside in towards turn 4. We've got the job done, and we are up into P12, I think that is, in this race. So great start after the safety car to be up into P12 from the back of the grid. I said I was not going to give up. I said I was going to push like hell to try and get back up into the points, and I'm certainly having a good chance of getting that at the moment, getting past Roman Grosjean, possibly on the right hand side down this straight. It's going to be a fairly easy move on the Haas drive. He's not very quick in a straight line there. And there we go, job done, round the outside in towards the final corner and into P11. Up next for us is Daniel Ricciardo, who is currently in P10, but then we get bumped up into P9 after a couple of guys come into pits, running it very, very wide onto that penultimate corner as well. Once again, we are not liking the corners around this Malaysian Grand Prix, running very, very wide in a couple of them and losing so much time, so many positions. Carlos Sainz there just giving a little bump in the rear down the straight, trying to push us along the straight. Maybe we're just going a little bit too slow for his liking. But he goes up the inside into the final corner. But we're going to set ourselves nicely for maybe to go for an overtake down in towards turn 1 following the slipstream. We haven't got DRS. That belongs to Carlos Sainz at the moment. But will we be able to pull over to the right-hand side, which we do. Up the inside in towards turn 1, side by side with the Toro Rosso driver once again through these section of corners, and just backing off just a little bit so we can get a cutback move on the Toro Rosso, get a good drive out to that corner, so close to the gearbox of Carlos Sainz. Moving over to the right hand side, can we get the move done up the inside in towards turn 4? Yes we can. No he can't, he brakes late to us around the outside. Can he hold it? No he can't. And there we go, up into P7 in this Malaysian Grand Prix, and what a fantastic race we are having after the safety car restart. These medium tyres are so much better than the hard tyres that we used earlier on. And here we are on lap 14 at the moment. Lewis Hamilton coming into the pits. That bumps us up into P2 in this Malaysian Grand Prix. What a race we are having at the moment. And here we are on lap 15. Kimi Räikkönen now coming into the pits. And we are leading the Malaysian Grand Prix. Who would have thought it off that crash just before the safety car? We would have written our race off. But I said I did not want to give up. I did not want to give in to this Malaysian Grand Prix, and I want to try and do the best I possibly can. We have dropped down momentarily because of myself coming into the pits right now, but we are going on to a different strategy compared to all the other guys. We went a lot longer on these medium tyres and now going on to the soft tyres to try and push these tyres to maybe our next no, not maybe to our next pit stop, right to the end of the race. We're not doing any more stops in this race. Jolyon Palmer also coming into pits behind us, if you didn't notice that as well. But we're not coming into pits at all for the rest of the race. So we're going to push like hell on these soft tyres, try and get past all the other drivers ahead of us. Roman Grosjean, is that Roman Grosjean or Esteban Gutierrez? I think it's Esteban Gutierrez who is right behind me actually on track. Yes, it is. Esteban Gutierrez currently in 11th place, but we're going to push like hell, try and catch up to Carlos Sainz and the other guys ahead of him, and then see where we can get in this race. And here we are on lap 20 at the moment, right behind the Toro Rossos of Danny Kvyat and Carlos Sainz. Valtteri Bottas and Nico Hülkenberg ahead of this pack as well. We have got DRS down this penultimate straight, going down in towards the final corner now. Maybe up the inside of Carlos Sainz, which we do. Very, very late on the brakes and just avoiding the rear of Danny Kvyat there. Just coming down this start-finish straight now. Just having a look just to see whether there is any damage on the front wing, which there wasn't because we didn't actually touch him. But another driver coming into pits there. That bumps up into P7. Danny Kvyat having a little look there on Valtteri Bottas in towards turn 1. If those guys can battle it out and give us an easy overtake, then I will be very, very happy for that. But we are right behind Danny Kvyat. A good exit out of turn 2 there. But Danny Kvyat is so much quicker for some reason. Must have just put his foot down a lot earlier than we did. Going down in towards turn 4. Up the inside of Danny Kvyat. Side by side with the Toro Rosso driver at the moment. But there we go. Up the inside into P6. And up next for us is Valtteri Bottas in the Williams, who we are very much on the rear of once again, just like we were earlier on in the race. However, we do not want to lose the back end like we did earlier. We run it wide, but this time not losing the back end, showing us that these soft tyres are so much better and have so much more grip than the hard tyres had earlier on in the race. Here we are though on lap 21, right behind Valtteri Bottas, having a little look up into the hairpin. Big dive bomb move up the inside, but can we get the car turned in time? Yes we can, and there we go. Great move up into P5, getting the job done on not Felipe Massa, on Valtteri Bottas into P5. And up next for us is Nico Hülkenberg, as we try to do a little bit of a cutback move, get a good drive out of the final corner down the start-finish straight. No DRS on Nico Hülkenberg for some reason. I guess we just weren't close enough before the braking zone. And going down in towards turn 1 on the right-hand side. And it's an easy move on Nico Hulkenberg, but we do run it a little bit wide. He is trying to hold it around the outside, but then he gives up position, and we are up into P4. Up next for us is the next Force India driver of Sergio Perez. Force India doing a good job at the moment in this Malaysian Grand Prix, currently running 3rd and 4th, but at the moment Sergio Perez into the pits, and Lewis Hamilton is also in the pits. He was leading the race before he came into the pits, and we are just about to get in front of Lewis Hamilton. Can we get the turned in? Yes, we can. Turned in for turn 1, and there we are in the lead. So, well, it's sort of in the lead of the Malaysian Grand Prix. Kimi Raikkonen is in the lead at the moment, but he does have to make a pit stop on the next lap. So we are a couple of laps later on in the race. Lewis Hamilton right to my tail at the moment as we come down the start finish, the penultimate start finish straight. Penultimate start finish straight, the penultimate straight, and here we are down in towards the final corner. Lewis Hamilton right on my tail at the moment, having a little look up the inside into the final corner. Oh, there's a little bit of contact there between the two of us. Lewis Hamilton running it wide out of the final corner. He's right on my tail at the moment, going down in towards turn 1. Can he get the job done around the outside? He's definitely going to hold it around the outside. He's on a fresher set of softer tyres. We do need to battle as hard as we possibly can. Be a little bit aggressive with the Mercedes driver side by side through turn 3 at the moment. Still side by side between the two of us. He's so much quicker in a straight line on those softer tyres. So he is going to get the job done in towards turn 4 for now. He's going to be better under braking, but if we can just hold it around the outside, around the inside, squeeze him out, which we do there, then we can certainly hold on position. That was a great move to hold on to the lead of the race. But a little bit later on in the race, lap 24 at the moment, we run it a little bit wide. That allows Lewis Hamilton to get the move done on us for now. However, we will get DRS on the Mercedes driver just because we are behind him at the DRS detection point. So through the penultimate corner now, right behind Lewis Hamilton at the moment. DRS is activated now, down towards the final corner. The rain is certainly starting to come down out on circuit, so we could possibly be going onto the intermediate tyres by the end of the race, and then it's definitely going to be a fair battle between myself and Lewis Hamilton as well. DRS activated once again. We got the job done on Lewis Hamilton up the inside into the final corner, and Lewis Hamilton dropping off massively there down in towards turn 1, so we should hopefully be able to hold on to this position for the next couple of corners and not be under pressure from Lewis Hamilton for the time being. We're going through turn 2, and it looks like he is catching me up through every single corner at the moment, so we do need to be aware of Lewis Hamilton as we come round the penultimate corner now. Very, very early there on the brakes, but we run it wide once again on this slippery, wet surface. It's definitely time for intermediate tyres. One lap later on in the race, and Lewis Hamilton has got the lead of the Grand Prix for the time being, going down in towards the final corner side by side at the moment with the Mercedes driver. Can we get the job done up the inside? Yes, we can for the time being, but Lewis Hamilton easier on the acceleration than we were. He gets a better acceleration out of the corner down towards the pit straight, and there we go. We've got the job done for the time being, holding position in front of Lewis Hamilton. But it is all about the battle of the pit crews right now. We need to make sure that Mercedes do not get a better pit stop than we do. Otherwise, we're going to lose our position once again to Lewis Hamilton and have to do it all over again to try and get past him. Come on, Renault, we need a quick pit stop, getting the intermediate tyres on. It doesn't look like it's a quick pit stop, and it's not. The Mercedes driver of Lewis Hamilton has got past us down in towards turn 1. He is in the lead at the moment, so we need to get past him as soon as we possibly can. He's not actually in the lead, I suppose, because Jolyon Palmer did not actually pit for a set of intermediate tyres. There are only 3 laps remaining in the race, so maybe he's trying just to hold it out on those hard tyres that he's currently on. There's a couple of other guys behind us, like Carlos Sainz, who did not decide to come into the pits as well. But here we are right behind Lewis Hamilton, going down in towards turn 4. Looks like we had a good exit out of turn 2 there, so close to the rear of the Mercedes driver. Having a little look up the inside into turn 4. Can we get the car turned in time? Yes, we can. Just about squeezing out the Mercedes driver of Lewis Hamilton, and there we are in the lead of the Malaysian Grand Prix for the time being. Lewis Hamilton dropping off quite a bit as well, which is certainly good news. But here we are on the final lap of the Malaysian Grand Prix. We've got Lewis Hamilton, we've got Kimi Raikkonen right on our tail at the moment, coming down into the hairpin. Lewis Hamilton so close to the back of our gearbox on this final lap of the Malaysian Grand Prix. Can we hold on for the win? It's been a really, really tough race for us, having a terrible start, but somehow we have managed to come back and battle for the lead of the race, and to win this race would be absolutely fantastic after having one of the worst weekends that I've ever had in my whole entire F1 career. But through the penultimate corner at the moment, one more corner left to go on this track, but there are 2 straights still to deal with, 2 chances for Lewis Hamilton to get past us on this track. Go down in towards the final corner now. I don't think he's going to have enough to get past us through the final corner now. And no, he has not. I said after that crash, I was not going to give up. I was not going to give in. And we have taken the victory at the Malaysian Grand Prix.
Great job. You've done everything we wanted today.
A great win then for the Renault team today. Tell me, Ant, what was the key to this success?
It's a heroic effort for any driver to race in conditions like these, and seeing them fight their way to the front was very special indeed. They were able to find all the grip, all the good lines, and have the confidence to get on the power to top it all off. That's what pushed them into first place here today.
And now it's time to wind down and celebrate after that fantastic Grand Prix. Here they come, your top three, out onto the podium.
What a race. What a race there at the Malaysian Grand Prix. A fantastic win to be down right at the back of the field after crashing earlier on in the race on about lap 4 was absolutely disappointing, and I felt like just giving in. You know, there was no point anymore. But then that safety car came out. And I knew that I definitely had a chance to get back in the race and definitely battle for the points. And then I just kept on going through the field. I kept on gaining positions, and it just kept on happening. And how we managed to get the victory there, I do not know, but it's still an absolutely fantastic result. There we are though, victory here at the Malaysian Grand Prix of Lewis Hamilton finishing in second, Kimi Raikkonen also getting on the podium, but that's 10 points gained in the championship. Max Verstappen, he finished in 4th with Daniel Ricciardo 5th, Jolyon Palmer in 6th, Sergio Perez 7th, Nico Rosberg I think was in 8th, and I'm not too sure who was in 9th or 10th. I didn't actually see that quick enough. But we had one guy who did not finish in today's race. That was Sebastian Vettel. Very, very disappointing for him to get that engine failure. And that's pretty much been Ferrari's season. They've had so many engine failures and stuff like that. And it's just ruined their season so much. But let's have a look at how those results affect the drivers' standings. And in the drivers' standings, we are still leading the way, of course. But now the gap is 85 points in the championship, and that means that if we win the Japanese Grand Prix and Kimi Raikkonen finishes, I think, in 6th or lower, then we've won the championship. Or if we finish 2nd in that race and Kimi Raikkonen finishes 9th or lower, then we have won the race. So we've won the championship, not the race, we've won the championship. So we could possibly win the championship at the Japanese Grand Prix. That's if my maths is correct. I'm pretty sure I'm right in saying that, but correct me if I'm wrong. But if we can do that, then that would be absolutely amazing. It would be a fantastic result for both myself and Renault as well. But let's quickly have a look at how this affects us in the Constructors' standings as well. And in the Constructors' Championship, the gap between Renault and Ferrari is 37 points. We have a huge gap over Ferrari at this stage of the season. 5 races left to go, and I definitely think that we have a really, really good chance now to win the championship. But I reckon this one is going to go down towards the wire. You know, we have myself scoring a lot of points for Renault, Jolyon Palmer not getting a lot of points, and then both Ferraris usually get a lot of points in one race, and then one of them does not finish in the next one. So that's how they are behind us at the moment. They should definitely be ahead of us with 2 amazing drivers in their team, but it's just not gone well for them this season. But that is it for today's Malaysian Grand Prix. Let's head back to the menus. Here we are then, just taking a little look at the rivalry update before we end the episode, and it's currently pretty much neck and neck between me and Kimi Raikkonen, 19 to 18 at the moment, so it's very, very close between us two. We have 665 resource points, but research and development is ceased at the moment, so we're not going to be talking about that too much. But that is it for today's Malaysian Grand Prix. A fantastic win here today at the race, and that is exactly why you never give up on anything. If you give up, then you're never going to win, but if you don't give up, then you still have that chance, and you never know, something amazing might happen, and you could get that win, which is exactly what we did here today. We didn't give up, and we managed to get that race win, which was a fantastic result for us here today. But if you have enjoyed the episode, don't forget to smash that like button. Also, subscribe to my channel if you are new around here. We're going to have this career mode coming to you every single day for the rest of Season 2. There's only 5 races remaining in this season, so that means 5 more episodes, maybe 4 more days. You know, we could do a double upload for the Brazil and Abu Dhabi Grand Prix if I get around to doing that in time. But that is it for today's race. I will see you next time at the Abu Dhabi, not the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, that's a long way up. I will see you next time at the Japanese Grand Prix. But until then, it's goodbye from me.